It's Tiger Brunson here, and today I'd like to talk about Valyrian steel, which is a very powerful metal in Game of Thrones. Basically, it's this invincible sort of metal that's super light, and it got really rare because of this thing called the Doom of Valyria, which is basically like the Doom of Volantis, and now it's held on to by all these like big famous houses, and they're really rare. And some lesser houses too have Valyrian swords, but I don't really know why. And basically, if you get a Valyrian steel sword, that's kind of like your Excalibur. It's super powerful. So today I'd like to talk about a few Valyrian steel swords that are very popular in the series, and some of them have even disappeared, or some of them have been turned into other swords. So let's jump right into this. Let's fist this thing. Okay, so the first one is Bright Roar. It's the lost sword of House Lannister that is believed to be in Valyria. Tyrion Lannister, Tywin's younger brother, went on a quest to find it, but he never returned. So, the guy who used to run House Lannister, like hundreds of years ago, he took the sword with him, and he sailed to Old Valyria, and no one had seen him since. So, Tywin's younger brother, Tyrion Lannister, who was a very cool guy, he was very nice to Tyrion. He was kind of like Tyrion's Jaime. He rewarded Tyrion for reciting historical facts, and he was always nice to him, and he never blamed him for his mom's death, and he never made fun of him for being a dwarf, unlike many of the other people around Tyrion. So, he didn't make Tyrion's life a living hell. So, he never returned after looking for the sword. So, Bright Roar's fate is one of the biggest mysteries in the series, and it's kind of a cool little mystery. It's like in every little fantasy type of fiction, you have that thing that disappears, and the character goes on a quest to find it. So hopefully in the future, Tyrion will send out search parties for Tyrion Lannister, like Tywin did. And it was found out that pretty much all of Tyrion's companions abandoned him when he wanted to sail to the Smoking Sea. So he's most likely dead, but hey, no one's really dead until in Game of Thrones unless their head gets cut off, or they get disemboweled, or they get stabbed in the nuts, or they get raped, or they get eaten, or they get turned into a White Walker. So keep up hope. Number 2 would be Ice, which is the family sword of House Stark, and personally, this is my favorite weapon in the series. I love Ice because it's so freaking huge and cool looking, and it's in one of my favorite scenes in the entire show. It's when Ned decapitates that Night's Watch deserter. So I love Ice for that reason. Ned Stark was executed with Ice by Sir Ilyn Payne, and Sir Ilyn Payne after that kept it for a while, until Tywin Lannister had it melted down and make 2 new swords, which were later named Oathkeeper and Widow's Wail, and given to Jaime Lannister and Joffrey. Jaime Lannister eventually gave Oathkeeper to Brienne. Brienne named it Oathkeeper after her promise to Catelyn, but I like the name Oathkeeper, and I like that Jaime had that sword for a while, even though he didn't have the name, because of the whole thing with Jaime and the Mad King. Jaime broke his oath. Jaime forsake his vow. No matter for what reason he did it, he did save thousands of lives, but no matter what, he broke his vows. He broke his oath. He killed his king. He was Kingsguard, and he broke his vows. So I like how the sword is named Oathkeeper, because it's kind of ironic. The next sword is Longclaw, which is the former family sword of House Mormont, given to Jon Snow by Jorah Mormont. Jon Snow used it to kill a White Walker like a big house in Season 5, Episode 8, Hardhome, and instead of the nasty-looking bear head that was on the hilt of the sword, Jorah Mormont had Jeor Mormont, not Jorah Mormont, had it replaced with a nice white wolf head. Personally, I think Longclaw is going to be the new family sword of House Stark, because I hope Jon Snow becomes Lord of Winterfell, even though most likely it's going to be Sansa who takes over Winterfell. But I think Longclaw is going to be the new sword of House Stark, because you can't really reforge Ice, and even if you could, that's too much of a happy ending for this series. So yeah, those are my favorite Valyrian steel swords. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a nice day.